Hey, Mark. How are you, sir? Hello? Hello, Mark? Are you there? Excuse me. Mark, are you there?
There, now can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There you are.
Yeah, that's better. It's the first time I've tried this from the office.
All right. All right. So let me text. Hold on one second.
Is it just us?
Well, this is new agent training, so it's only the brand new agents that go through this.
Okay.
And most of the agents, this would be like the second to third time through for the other ones. So
All
it's
right.
kind of you, potentially Michael. So let me just message somebody really fast.
Go ahead. Yeah, things are pretty crazy on the financial markets right now.
All right. Yeah. Like what's going on? There we go. Sorry. All
Well,
right. Funny how time just freaking flies, man. I've been in Pierce the last 2 days and a bunch of other
oh,
things.
I watched your video about the kitties, your first
Oh
family
yeah. Yeah.
with the little kitties. Cute
Yeah.
story, but I could only, pretty dark.
Yeah, unfortunately, what used to be my morning walk back in the day over the last month has turned into my nightly walk, which kind of sucks. But it's the only time I can get in recording. But we have a new thing that'll be launching here next month. That'll be hopefully a little bit different, but we'll see. Just trying to grow the audience, put some good content out there. And I have a crap ton of those stories that I could share. So I think I'm going to do a different thing in a different way for those. It's just finding time, man. And that's where, the agents, I need agents that sell. I need people referring the brokerage. We need to be growing property management. It's just, we gotta get some stuff moving in
Well, I've
our,
been
in our
getting a
brokerage.
ton of calls from people that are, I mean, we've got plenty of buyers on the market, but those interest rates are going up. And from the financial side, what's happening is all these refinance leads that were coming in. In fact, that was like 70+% of the business was refinance. And now that the rates have shot up a little bit, just a quarter point, a little more than that actually, but since they've gone up, those refi leads have totally dried up,
Yeah.
which means you'll have fewer.
Keep talking. Sorry, I'm gonna go turn on the light, but keep talking.
Yeah, you'll have fewer buyers that qualify, which might be a good thing since we're so low on inventory. That's the other thing that's really hurting the entire real estate market is just being so low on inventory.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
know,
that's where I hope our flip is going active on Saturday morning. We're gonna do a grand big open house, and I mean it's a really, really nice house and it's in Tempe. So compared to what else is available in that neighborhood, we're a value. But it's still a $500,000 home. You know what I mean?
okay,
Yeah.
you're
So
gonna do that.
anyway,
You're gonna
yeah.
do that this Saturday or next Saturday?
This Saturday, day after tomorrow.
Okay.
The long-awaited Balboa. So, this training tonight, okay, we're wrapping up our 9-week series. Okay, so here, let me share my screen. And I'm just in my living room right now. It's been such a freaking long day. I can't even tell you. I was I was in Wilcox. I spent the night in Wilcox because I was at Pierce all day yesterday. And I was at Pierce by 7 a.m. this morning, and I've been working hard. So I'm on hour 11 at this moment of just going strong, and traffic sucked.
No kidding.
That's all I could say, man. It was terrible. There was freaking accident, about 25 miles south of Riggs, right? I mean, literally like a half mile past the rest stop, right? So it's like, of all the places, so I was stuck there for like 45 minutes, and then fast forward, right where the 10 merges with like the 143 as the 60 comes in over here, another accident. So then it funnels me off to the 143. I get to the 202. The 202 was not that bad, but instantly hop on the 10. Boom, another accident at the tunnel. It's like, son of a beehive. So then I get off on I-17, and I have to admit it wasn't terrible, but traffic was not great, but it wasn't nearly as bad. It was like out of all the freeways I was on, the 202 and the 17 were like the only two that were happy.
Yeah, that 10, that I-10's a nightmare. I deal with that twice a day, every day.
Horrible. I mean, it was today at 12:45. It's a Thursday at 12:45. Why in the world is the world out? Like, come on, go to work, people. Sorry. Like, I mean, I guess I was at work too, technically, but whatever. So
I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about. What should take should be for me like a 35, 40-minute drive can turn into an hour and a half.
Exactly.
On that
Yeah.
10.
In this case, it should have been a 3-hour drive turned into a 4-hour drive.
Exactly. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so if you can see the screen, this is the 9 weeks. Okay, so it starts off basic policies and procedures, then the paperless pipeline, Real Geeks, MLS, transaction desk, open houses, advertising, your tabletop, and then odds and ends and Q&As. Okay, so this is basically the interior breakthrough training just for our basic offerings as a brokerage. Okay, as a whole, right? Okay. So all of our our CRM, the basics, how to work transaction desk, what we expect in paperless pipeline for your paperwork. Real Geeks talks about, if you're going to handle our leads, this is what we expect. Open houses, we offer the signs and everything. So we teach how we want to do the open houses. Advertising, Real Geeks and the brokerage offer some really good tools to advertise with, but it's up to you to do it and take advantage of it. You know what I mean? So that's where the advertising goes through setting up the Real Geeks, the Facebook pairing, stuff like that. They actually have new videos out that I think are better than me training you guys on that. So I might just force you guys to watch those 4 videos that they offer instead. But tonight is the tabletop. Okay. And the tabletop, it means the world to me because personally speaking, this is how I created my business that I lived off of for 7 years before I started the brokerage, right? And it allowed me to be what equivalent in hours would be a part-time agent, but selling 30 plus homes a year, which availed me also to be what I would classify more as a full-time dad for my daughter between the ages of 2 and 10, pretty much. So having a good, stable base for your real estate career is essential as far as I'm concerned. And so tonight's training, while not the longest, can be, I guess, if we really get into it, but it is, in my opinion, one of the more basic, foundational, more important things. Paperless pipeline. Yeah, of course, we have to adhere to ADRE. We have to do paperwork. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. So as opposed to having a great foundation that'll provide you a stable career for the rest of your life. I'd say that the foundation's a little more important. You know what I mean? Like it'll make or break your career, so you won't need any paperwork, So I really, really love this training. So you kind of get where I'm aiming with this.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Okay. So as stupid as it is, I need help with a computer person because I'd love to create like animations and things like that. for this. But if you can you grab a piece of paper? And is there any way, do you have a camera there, or, because I'd love to see what you write down. Okay. Okay. So tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, you got a piece of paper?
Yep. Can you see it? I don't know on which computer screen. This one or this one?
I can't see you. I just see your name.
Oh, you don't see me at all?
Nope.
Why is that?
Okay.
Well, I'm here and I can see you.
You're right. I'm gonna at the end, I'm gonna ask you. Oh, there you are.
Okay, there we go. All right.
All right. So the wonderful artist, I'm sure both of us are. Okay. See, I even messed it up there because I drew it too much as a square. So I'm gonna have to angle this like this. Okay. Okay. So that classic tabletop picture, right? Where you draw the square and then you have the peg legs coming out to make your table.
Gotcha.
Okay. So go ahead and make that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, historically speaking, people who put all of their eggs in one basket are classified as what kind of people?
Silly people.
Okay. So
they're kind of wishful people. It's like putting all your money in the lottery and hoping you hit it. That's it.
yeah. So I'd call them risk takers, to say it kind of subtly. So on the flip side, people who diversify are kind of typically labeled as what kind of people?
Smart people.
There you go. Okay, I agree. And thank you for saying the answers that I wanted to hear. All right.
Yeah, that's just the truth. I mean, you bet everything on it's like betting everything on black.
Exactly. So that's what the tabletop is. It's the diversification of your efforts as a realtor to make sure that you're going to have a steady business throughout time. Okay. And when you really break it down, it does not require, it's a full-time job. Okay. If you want it to be, it could be a part-time job if you want it to be. It's as big as you want to take it. You just need to make sure that you have these things set up as a basic foundation level and are occurring at whatever level you need them to occur. But it's imperative that you have all of them involved right now. Okay. And keep in mind, this isn't set in stone. It might change, over time. For example, 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and let's say 8 through 11, short sales and foreclosures. That was a great part of your business. You know what I mean? So we had a wonderful short sale division. Okay. But that eventually dried up, and so you're going to have to go with the times. But no matter what, I think you need approximately 4 things involved. Okay. So number 1, as an agent, you just got your license. No matter what, you can start where?
Start with your friends, sphere of influence, family members.
Exactly. Exactly. So one leg is your sphere. Okay. And in our Google Drive, let me see if I could pull it up here. Okay. This one and Drive. And I think it's under here. Okay, memory jogger. There you go. Right here. Okay. Here's a memory jogger for people. Okay. So just go to Google Drive. At the top, you saw exactly what I did. Type in jogger, and this will pop up. It is a database of 143 places and people to think about that you could put on your list of your database. Okay. Approximately most people, the average number you hear is 200. Okay. When push comes to shove, your average person knows approximately 200 people. Okay. Now, if only all of those actually bought or sold homes, they don't. So usually they say it's the highest rate of return of all of them, which is approximately 10%. Okay. But that 10% isn't 10% as in 10 people, 20 people are going to be buying and selling a home directly. That is going to be made up of 5% will buy or sell, and then 5% will come in the form of referrals from those people. So you should equal the number of approximately 20 from your friends and family if you know the average 200. Okay. But as every agent that gets in the business knows, okay. So over here, sorry, my pen's giving out. That's why I've been delaying. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Oh, it's one of those days. All right. Oh, cool. Thank you, Molly. She left 2 pens sitting on her table. Okay. So under one of the legs, you're going to write, sorry, see, my pen was giving out. You're going to write sphere. Then over here, buy it, you're going to write 10%. And then underneath that, you're going to write 5% buy, sell. And then 5% referral.
Got it.
Okay. So in this case, we're just going to run with the average of 200 people. Okay. So that would be 10 sales, 10 sales. Okay. Now, what's the general rule when it comes to follow-up needed for people you know? It's different than the follow-up needed for people you don't know. Okay. Because you want to be that person for referrals. So what does that really boil down to? You have to be what kind of agent?
Agent that stays in touch with them.
Pretty much. Yeah. Okay. So it means you got to be careful because you don't want to be that agent, always breathe in sales and real estate on everybody, but you have to make them aware that you are an agent. You know what I mean? So it's a great combination of staying in front of them in social settings and offsetting it with the right amount of sales settings. You know what I mean? So it's like making sure you do a Facebook Live at every open house. You're not directly selling them, but they see you there. You know what I mean? It's making sure you attend your social functions, church, family gatherings, picnic, you know what I mean? School functions, if it has to do with those, it's being there in front of people. And when people say hi, and you're making sure that you're saying, hey, I'm Josh, and like, oh, what do you do? I'm so-and-so. Oh, great. I'm a realtor, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's having that conversation. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you've read Gary Keller's books, for example, I love what he has because it's actually taken off to the point that there are websites and other marketing materials just based off of his method. It's kind of awesome. And that's the 33 touch. Okay. So you could write 33 touch, but that's an odd number because 33 doesn't go into 12 months very easily. So I would just round up and say 36. 36 touch, 3 times a month. Okay, so can you find a reason to get in front of everybody 3 times a month?
Yep.
There you go. Okay, so 3 times a month. Now, total brain fart. Where was I going with that? I have a couple places I was going with that, but okay. How long does it take to build that up?
Depends on the agent, really.
Well, let's say you start, today's April 1st, April Fools. All this is a lie. No sugar. April 1st, boom, you're going to start today. Okay. So this month you're going to be in front of your database, no matter what, 3 times. And then May, no matter what, 3 times. When can you reasonably expect one of those things to start coming through? Truly speaking, how many months do you think you need before you really get that snowball rolling?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Okay. And this is the hardest part, because this is why people lose faith. Okay. We live in a world of instant gratification, and friends, family, farming, a lot of things are the furthest thing from it. Internet leads? Psh, no. You know, if you have thousands of them, oh yeah, you'll have things falling in your lap, low hanging fruit, you know, but no, 3 to 6 months to build it. Okay. And after 6 months, that's when it's really going to start paying off. Okay. So 3 to 6 months, you could start expecting some referrals and some traction, you know. About the 6 month mark, you'll be roaring. And I mean, really kind of trucking along. But if you can keep it going after that year mark, boom, you know, you have a perpetual database of referrals coming through. You have a pipeline.
Right.
Okay.
I've kind of heard is that for new agents that are starting out, you know, they probably won't even do any business for the first 6 months. And then it'll start to trickle in as they get closer to that 1 year mark. I've heard that.
Yep. Okay. So I know my writing's horrible, but that's basically it. Yeah. 3 to 6 months building, then, you know, you got your traction, and then it's roaring after that. Sorry, my camera sucks. Can you even read that? I don't know.
Right. I can see it. I can see it.
All right. 6 to 12 months going, 12 plus months roaring. All right. And so let's just, because it's fun, let's put a monetary value to this. Okay. So we expect 20 sales after the year. Okay. So this is patience. You know, so let's say your year, what would be classified as year 2, wouldn't it? Because you spend your first year building. So year 2 is what you'll hopefully get. Okay. So at 20 sales, okay, you've got at 300, let's say approximately $300,000 home. So we'll even go conservative compared to this market, $6 million in sales. Okay. So 20 sales at 300K equals 6 million in volume. Okay. And then let's multiply that by 205, because let's not be greedy. Let's just say we average 2.5% commission. Okay. No, not the end of the world, but you can see I want to go conservative. Okay. So 2.5% commission. Oh, I'm sorry. You've only made approximately $150,000.
Only.
Yep. And let's say you're on an 80% split. You've now taken home 120 grand. Okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Okay. Pays to be organized. All right. So that is your sphere. Any questions on your sphere?
No.
Rocking. So that's the first leg of your tabletop. Okay. Now, let's branch out to people we don't know. Okay. Because there's several different directions you could go. So what would be your first inclination? Okay. As a realtor, if you've now tackled your database, who do you want to go for now? What do you want to do?
Well, you probably want to now tackle your neighbors, people you know in the neighborhood. Maybe they're not your friends or part of your social network, but they're people that live close to you.
Okay. So are you saying farming?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take that and do you one better. Okay. No. Yes. We're going to take that and put it on steroids. We're going to take it and put it on steroids. We're going to say farm/open house. Okay.
Oh, okay. Open houses. Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Okay. People don't think about the power of stacking and making things more powerful. Or if you've read like Robert Cialdini, it's he wrote the book Persuasion, and then he followed that up with the book Persuasion. And it's all about stacking the deck in your favor to get the answer you want. What can you do ahead of time to pave the way? you know, to make your job when that moment comes, to make it that much easier. You know what and so it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And so let's take a farm. Okay. Same thing. I mean, duplicate the numbers. All right. So unfortunately, no, sorry, not duplicate the numbers. Farm is your standard neighborhood. Okay. So a lot of that's going to dictate based on the neighborhood you choose. Let me share my screen and give you an example. Okay. Let's go quick search. Now, forgive me, Mark, where do you live again? What city?
Surprise.
That's right. Okay. So in this case, we're only worried about sold at this moment. Okay. And to find a good farm, let's take sales over the last, I hate to say this, usually we do a year, but this last year is going to be weird because we haven't had much volume. I think that the numbers of homes is going to be down because of the, I don't know. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to put anything on this. Let's just check it out. Okay, so let's go back a year. Okay. And let's take one of the most popular neighborhoods in Surprise, which would be Surprise Farms. Big neighborhood, big neighborhood. Okay, so that neighborhood had 346 homes sold, okay, in the last year. Now, what we want to do is we want to go to Monsoon and find what ratio that really is. Okay, so let's go to the tax search, all right, and let's go down to subdivision and type in Surprise Farms, all right. Now we want property type. We only want to go homes. Okay, nothing else. Single family residences. All right. And let's go ahead and search. Okay, so this says there's 4,344 homes in Surprise Farms, according to Monsoon. See how I did that?
Well, where does it say 4,000?
Right there.
Oh, okay, up there. All right.
Okay. So now let's kind of keep that number aside. This isn't part of the tabletop. This is just kind of an example of something under farms. Okay. So let's just hypothetically say, let's write this down, 43, 44, so that we don't forget it. All right, let's come back to the MLS. And we had a total of 346 sales in the last year. Now, approximately how many homes on average sell in a neighborhood each year?
Well, when you divide the two?
Well, yeah, in this case we will, but we need something to compare it to just to know if is it good, bad, you know? It may suck, but we wouldn't know the difference if we don't have a baseline. So what do you think the baseline is? What's your average neighborhood?
I have no idea.
Approximately 5%. Okay. If you find a neighborhood that's higher than 5%, historically speaking, that's a good neighborhood because there's more sales in that neighborhood than average. Some neighborhoods go years and have 2 sales, you know, because people just don't move. Either the highly desirable, highly established, you know what I mean? So some neighborhoods are not great to choose. And we're going to find 1 or 2 more little caveats here as we kind of run through this one really fast. Okay. So yeah, let's do it. So take your 346 and let's divide it. Oops, wrong button. Clear 346, and it was divided by 344,
44.
which is what percent? Pretty good.
Almost 8%.
Exactly. So on the surface, this is a pretty good neighborhood. Now, it's a ginormous neighborhood. Too much for any one agent to really bite off unless you've got a team and established stuff. Okay. So your goal would be to bite off a chunk. You know how there's a lot of sub neighborhoods inside, for example, Sierra Montana, Surprise Farms, Rancho Gabriela, Marley Park has a few sub communities inside of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you bite off a chunk of those, let's say your average person can bite off 500 to 1,000, depending on how organized you are. All right. Now, again, we're dealing with almost 8% of the homes are selling. So if you take, let's say you could bite off 1,000 homes, okay? 1,000 homes times 0.079, that's 79 sales approximately at the end of that time. You know, you're biting off a quarter of those homes. Make sense?
Yeah.
So if
Well,
you do your job well, you're going to get a pretty good payoff if you do it well, especially at this point. Make sense?
yes.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to get at was 500 to 1,000 homes is what you really want to do for your farm. And as you own it, then grow. Don't bite off too much because number one, this can be expensive if you're doing mailers. Ideally, you're going to be doing door knocking. You're going to be doing open houses. It's going to have a multifaceted attack, right? This is where you could join the neighborhood groups, you know, join next door, join Facebook, join all the groups affiliated with those neighborhoods and let people know what you're doing in that neighborhood. And, you know, you could be part of like the garage sales. You could organize events in that neighborhood. You know, there's all kinds of things you could do when you hyper focus on a neighborhood. And that's the crazy part about Arizona and especially like the Phoenix area is you have neighborhoods that are 4,000 homes. I was talking to the lady today. You know how many people live in Wilcox?
Oh.
That same amount. That's the same amount of people that live in Wilcox, Arizona, just in Surprise Farms. And that's the homes, actually. That's not even people. You figure that's like 8,000 people. So no, there's more people in Surprise Farms than are in Wilcox, Arizona. That's crazy. So take advantage of it. All right. So let's go really conservative here again. Okay. And let's say you're only going to hyper focus on 500 homes. All right. Ideally, you're going to be doing the same thing, only differently as far as staying in front of them. Right. Let's say you add in doing open houses mixed with the farm. Okay. So it's going to be hard to kind of not it's going to be hard not to blend them. Okay, that's the catch, because your open houses, 1 out of 20 people that, and it's actually a little bit better. It's 1 out of 18 is the actual average that you get to sign into your open house will turn into a sale. Okay, so it's one of the best returns on your money is an open house. Okay, so that's actually going to be um, I always go back and forth between farming and open houses as far as which is the better part of the leg. But when done in conjunction, do open houses, but just own a neighborhood. If you're going to do an open house a week, do it in a neighborhood. Own that neighborhood. Become the go-to person of the neighborhood. If all goes well, you could own 33% of a neighborhood easy, right? And so anybody goes into that neighborhood, they'll just see the MLS and they'll be like, Mark, 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 Betty, Mark, 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 Jeff, Mark, 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 different Mark, 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 you know, and they'll be like, what the heck, man? Mark owns that neighborhood. Remember back in the day, people really did own neighborhoods. People just forgot how to do it today because they're not where you need to be. You know, you need to be on Nextdoor. You need to be on all the neighborhood things. You need to be part of your community. And that's all you need to be. You know what I mean? But don't be a jerk in the neighborhood. Don't be like, get off my lawn. You need to be a happy representative. You don't even have to live there. It helps if you live there, but you can make that huge. Okay. So let's look at it as a best case scenario, worst case scenario, and neither of them are bad. It's just if you choose to do more of one or the other, it depends on what you're going to be doing on your time and a little bit what you're going to get for your return. Okay. Because hopefully they offset. So let's say you choose Surprise Farms and you're going to do one open house a week in Surprise Farms. Okay. So let's just come on here really fast and let's switch this up. Okay. And this is where it's going to be tough, but not the end of the world. You just have to work a little harder to get it done. Oops. Forgot. My bad. Sorry about that. Whoop. Active list. Oh, duh. Sorry. You put me on the spot. I cracked. Okay. View results. Here we go. And then let's just see here. You want to find a vacant home. There you go. Vacant. Okay. And it's been listed for 15 days. So there's multiple offers received, so they probably won't let you do it. Okay. Now, this is where in this market, you're probably going to need to go to one of the more expensive homes that's probably never going to sell. Specifically speaking, I'm not joking. All right. And you find the most reasonable one that is vacant. So let's just come down and see if there's another one here. Vacant. There you go. 14 days, owner agent, boom, vacant. Okay. So this is the one you want to do. All right. And you just basically say, hey, can I hold this open once a week for the next few weeks until it sells if you're not going to be there? And they're like, I'd prefer not. And be like, come on, man, are you going to be holding it open? And I'm like, no. It's like, well, then let me do it. Come on, I'm just going to bring you a buyer, hopefully. You know, you're still the listing agent. I'm just, hopefully going to help you sell it. And that's that. So eventually you'll get them to cave, right? Now, getting them to cave, you're now getting the open house benefit. 1 out of 18. Let's say in this market, you're going to average 20 or more to sign in. That is today's average. But historically speaking, you're only talking maybe 7 will sign in on average. Okay. So let's say you take 7 sign in at the end of the month. Okay. Let's just say 4 weeks in the month. So 7, 14, 21, 28. Right. So if you have 28, that's more than a sale a month right there, just from your open houses. Okay. Now, what are you going to do to advertise your open houses? And that's when you come back to the farming. And that's a legitimate question. Sorry, I've been babbling.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. What is it? What do you do to advertise your open house?
Well, you send out an email or you send out flyers to let people know that you're holding the open houses.
Yep. And then ideally, you door knock the nearest 100 neighbors or so.
Well, up and down the streets.
Yeah, you invite them to check it out. What's that?
That's what I've done in the past. Is I just, I have a stack of about 50 flyers, and I just go up and down the street until I'm out of flyers.
Exactly. That's it. But here's the catch: is that you're doing it in the same neighborhood, ideally on purpose, because you're not just doing your listings. You're strategically owning a neighborhood. It's a different thing. Okay. So you're going to do this house for as long as it's available. As soon as this one's not available, you're going to do a different house in that same neighborhood. And it's always going to be turning inventory. And after a while, they will be your listings you're going to be doing. But that's part of the build-up process, is that you just need to make your presence known in the neighborhood for 6 months, just like the other one, to build that pipeline, to build that knowledge. People will start thinking of you in that neighborhood. When you do an open house, you're going to put out 30 signs. They're going to see you week after week after week after week after week. They're going to see you at different houses throughout time in that same neighborhood, week after week after week after week. They're going to eventually, you're going to knock on their door if you're knocking the nearest 100 neighbors around week after week after week. You know what I mean? So it is a hugely beneficial thing to open house and farm as a dual edge sword. Whap, whap. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So let's take the average of those, okay? Because 1 out of 18 is basically 1 out of 20, and 1 out of 20 is 5%, which is your standard neighborhood, okay? In which case, Surprise Farms actually beats it as far as the neighborhood at 7.9 over the last year. So worst case scenario, picture 5%, okay? So if you're door knocking and owning and you're just getting it, let's average it out to, if it was 500 homes, okay, and that would be times 0.05, that would be 25 sales, okay? If you're doing 1 out of 18, okay, and you're having, let's say, 7 people sign in for 49 weeks, let's give you 3 weeks off, that's 343 sign-ins, divide that by 18, you're looking at approximately 19 sales. Now, in this case, you're not looking at either or, you're actually looking at compounding them. So I would actually say in this case, you're going to get about 35 to 40 sales at the end of the year by compounding these efforts all in that same area. Would you not agree?
I agree. If you get 7 people in, I'm signed up.
There
The
you
open
go.
houses that I've held in the past are kind of hit and miss, to be honest. I've
Yep.
had some open houses where nobody has shown up, and I've had some open houses where I've had, well, actually, I haven't had any more than 10 people show up, even though I put signs out all over the place. In fact, I got in trouble once because I put too many signs out, so the city came around and picked them up.
Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes, but that's a good error to have. The thing is treating it, and we do an open house training. And if you ever get a free 2.5 hours, Joshua Smith has a YouTube video where he tells you how to put on a mega open house. And that's probably the best training possible. I do something very, very similar, but he's up there, you know, with a PowerPoint in front of like 200 people. So it's a little more entertaining. It really is about the buildup. So if you can really take advantage of like that week or two you ahead of time that you're going to do it, or just however much time you have, right? And you just own it. If you're going to invite people to your 50th wedding anniversary or your parents' 50th wedding anniversary, you're going to invite people. You're going to call people. You're going to send out mailers. You're going to put it on Facebook. You're going to send out mailers again. You're going to be calling people again. You're going to be confirming people are going to be showing up. That's how people need to treat open houses. Okay. If you just show up and put a bunch of signs out there, you're relying on the flow through traffic. The flow through traffic, you're relying on the people who happen to be available at that time, who happen to be driving around, which is going to be some people, but your odds have gone down. If you put it in the MLS, if you blast it out to your database, if you door knock the neighbors, if you tell them to invite their friends who might want to move to the neighborhood, if you do all those things to stack it, again, persuasion, the odds of more people showing up is way better. When you get there, show up a few minutes early, do a Facebook Live for about 20 minutes, and not just in there, pop in, pop out for 20 minutes to make sure people can see the flow. And then you could do tours that way. There's a lot of tools today that avail a lot more people, right? And it's a huge opportunity. So, but you're absolutely right. There's certain ones where nobody will show up. There's going to be others that 20, 30 will show up, especially now with this market. But it's harder than ever to get an open house because you need a listing that doesn't already have offers on it. Good luck.
That's the hard thing, right? For right now, this market, but I think that's going to change.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few months for it to really, really cycle through, but it will be over the next 18 months, definitely. So let's just round it out and say it's gonna equate to, let's say, 35 sales. Okay. So in this case, your farm, 35 sales times that same 300,000. In this case, you are looking at $10,500,000 in volume. But you are committing to 2 days a week, approximately. Okay. 1 day a week, you're going to be doing open houses, right? So that's going to be 6 hours approximately. Okay. If you equate the time to put up your signs, take down your signs, go to the store to get your crap, right? It's going to require another day for you to actually put together your ad campaign and all that stuff and then execute it, which is going to include email blast, text blast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. It's going to include all of it, and then you're going to door knock some of the neighbors. So you're legitimately committing approximately 16 hours a week to doing open houses and farming. Okay. 16 hours a week, week in and week out, you're committing to it. Okay. And that's a huge, huge part of owning the neighborhood. All right. I had at Overland Hills, I had a newsletter. I did an investment newsletter and I alternated those every 2 weeks. And that was every 2 weeks. It was a reason for me to be in front of people, even if I wasn't doing open houses. You know what I mean? I still door knocked it and I still mailed it. I door knocked it for my nearest couple hundred neighbors, approximately. It was like 220 some odd, I think it was. And then, but that whole neighborhood was 400 and some odd. And I think it was back in the day, all I remember is that I was spending like $250 every freaking mailer. And that was with the commercial thing, the stamp, whatever, So it was a lot of mailing. Let's just say that. Okay. But within 6 months, I had people wanting to advertise in my newsletters. It was great. So it works, man. It works. You just have to do it week in and week out, month in and month out to get the results. It's key. So what's the key?
Repetition.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so 10,500,000 in volume. Again, let's not be greedy. We're going to say we want 2.5% commission. Oh man, that is $262,500. And again, let's say you're on an 80% split, so that's $210,000 right there. Okay, is that worth week in and week out, 16 hours a week? And but keep in mind, this is just to get the clients to list or to take out. Okay, so you're going to be spending the rest of your time doing that. You know what I mean? It's an integral part of what you do. All right. So that's farming open houses. Any question on that one?
No.
All right. So what is the goal with the farming? Like what's the average neighborhood? If you're going to pick a neighborhood, what's the goal? You want to get what out of it?
Well, you're looking at 500. Well, you want to focus in on 500 homes, 500 to 1,000 homes.
Yeah.
And
But
out of that chunk, and then
Yep.
you've got the 7.9 sales. So you're looking at doing the 5% on that.
well, yeah, no, well, 7.9% is what Surprise Farms has. All right. Your goal is to find a neighborhood that has at least 5. Okay. Don't do any neighborhood that's less than 5% turnover because it's not worth your time. Okay. Surprise Farms happened to have been just a great one with 7.9% turnover. So in that case, keep up with the 7.9, hopefully, but keep an eye on the market because it fluctuates, and don't ever give up on a neighborhood. If it's not there, that's yet another selling point. Hey, our neighborhood has no volume. We have people that want to move here. Let me list your home. See every angle. You have every angle when you own a neighborhood. All right. So that's farming. That is the farming / open houses. That is the second integral leg of our tabletop. Time for the next one, which I will go ahead and share with you. That would be internet leads.
That would be the what?
Internet leads. Today, you need a presence on the internet. It is mandatory. If you're not easily Googleable, if you're not driving traffic to you some way, shape, or form, you're missing out because over 90% of people start their search online. Over 80% of people go with the first agent they talk to. And of those, 80% of the people go with the first one they see. Okay. So you want to be in front of people and you just want to go with it. And making sure you have that set up is a big thing. Okay. That's why Breakthrough offers you the landing pages that we do. And you can put searches on it. You can customize it. You can put videos. You can add umpteen number of pages that are all forwarded to your domains. So if you go into GoDaddy by Mark the lending realtor, I don't know, whatever, your slogan, right? Allow me to lend you my real estate expertise or something like that. I don't know. There's so many things that you could do with it, right? So you just choose your slogan and boom, buy that, buy your name, buy variations of your name, buy the neighborhood if you're going to be farming, and direct them all to your website, right? And then you can put like a landing page for Surprise Farms if that's what you're going to do. You can make a landing page for your open house, and you can blast that out and actually drive traffic to your website. And you could have searches on there, and everybody who comes to your website might do a search, and you'll capture their information there, right? Everybody that signs into your website, you want to go ahead and sign them up. You want to sign them up for your portal and everything like that. And then you want to tell them, hey, come to my website. You need that presence. If you can't afford, this is where it's a pay to play. If you're not willing to put in the effort as far as just posting, building pages, email blasting, making sure you sign everybody up, welcome everybody to your website, you're just constantly trying to get people to come to your website. And that's where, man, how do I say this? There's so many, that's where the advertising part comes in, because like through our website, you have blog features. You can make umpteen number of pages to spread your spider web. You can do Facebook ads. You can do videos. You can post, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can focus on neighborhoods and then just have all the homes listed in that neighborhood. You can do crazy searches like I specialize in land, and you can just have a page full of land searches. You could say, I specialize in, oh, here's all your foreclosures, boom, 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 boom. And those are the same searches you could send out to everywhere. And when you send it out on Facebook and they click on it, you capture them on your website, and now they're automatically sending them homes. Okay. You just have to trust that it works. And again, your average person today is 6 to 12 months out. So you have to have patience, 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 patience. Okay. So let's make it a goal as a realtor that you want to drive 100 people to your website a month, no less than, okay? But as an individual realtor, you need to find some way to bring 100 people to your website a month, okay? So here, let me catch you up on our tabletop here really fast. Okay, let me undo our share because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so here you got table number 1, side, okay?
Yep.
You have your database, which is 10%, 5 and 5, boom, boom, boom. Okay, part 2 over here, you've got open houses and farming. That's going to be somewhere between 5% or slightly better, but you're using the compounded efforts of both of them to actually leverage the power of each to a slightly better. Synergistic, gotta love it. Okay, so the third leg we're going to kind of put right here, whoop, and that's going to be internet leads. Okay. And they could come from everywhere, but it stems from having a website. That's fundamentally what it boils down to. You need a website and something to drive the traffic to. Okay.
Is there anybody at Breakthrough that can help me set up a website?
What's that?
Anybody? I have never ever set up a website before.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's hard to do or not, or is it pretty easy?
Okay. Remind me right before we get off. I'll email you our guy. Okay. All you need to do is buy your URL, your domain name. Okay. Go to GoDaddy, go to whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You just need to buy the name. Don't buy their websites. Don't spend any money other than like the $20 or whatever to get the name. Okay. You don't need their services. We provide the services. We're going to take our website that would be like breakthroughrealestateaz.com/marks, blah, 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 whatever it might be that you tag it and put it in there, we might have, for example, okay, the best one was Sandy sells Sun City. Okay. So she had, what was her last name? Oh, crud. Oh, shoot. Total brain fart. Okay. So she bought her name, which was a no-brainer, right? Because if people Google you want to be findable. So you have that. Okay. And then she had Sandy sells Sun City, right? And then she bought the zip code. So it was like homes for sale 85382 or whatever it was, right? She ended up buying like 4 different domain names, okay? And ended up having all of them forward to her website. Here's where most agents go wrong, okay? A landing page is a landing page, a website is a website. Most people will never know the difference if you do it properly because there is no real foundational difference. They're all part of the website. Okay. Each page that's what builds a website. You know what I mean? So if you put your profile, that's dumb. Nobody cares about your profile. Nobody could search for homes. It's not going to make people come back once they go there once or twice. So treat that landing page as if it's your website. What would most people want there at the very top?
Well, I mean, I think most people want to brag about themselves, which doesn't make any sense because if I'm a buyer or if I'm looking for a realtor as a seller, I want to know what you can do for me.
What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Exactly. And so that's the key. Okay. So if you put the searching functions on there, and if you're focusing on Sun City, you might want to put the most recent sales in Sun City up at the top of your search, right? Same thing. If you're doing surprise, you might want to focus in on surprise up front, create a second page. That might be a generic search. Create a third page that has all the foreclosures on it. Name them whatever you want. You could just buy the URL or you could use ours, but it'll be breakthroughrealestateaz /Mark. And forgive me, Cannard?
Yeah.
Cannard, that's what I thought. Okay. Mark Cannard, whatever. So you'd have markcannard.com, blah, 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 right? But I would rather you just buymarkcanner.com and just send people to www.markcanner.com. You know what I mean? It makes a lot more sense and it's easier, right? And then you can put Mark's or Surprise Farms, homes for sale by Mark, whatever. Okay. You know what? That would tie up Surprise Farms. It would tie up Mark. It would tie up a bunch of different things, right? And it would just make sense. You know, it would be long, but it would make sense. Okay. So you could say, hey, check out my Surprise Farm search, you know, or Mark sells Surprise Farms, something like that. Right. And it's probably available. I guarantee Surprise Farms is not, and about 20 other similar variations have probably already been bought. Find the closest one to it that makes sense for you, then you got it. Okay. Try not to buy the other ones. Just stick with .com. Nobody knows the other ones. Okay. As much as you'd like them to know it, nobody will naturally go to the other ones. You know what I mean? Like .co, nobody will naturally just say, oh, .co. You know, no, everybody knows .com. Makes sense? They're going to try to sell you the other ones. Don't buy them. Okay. They just confuse the issue. And nobody's that cool or unique to make it like, oh, them. You know what I mean? So just stick with what works. And yes, we have a guy that will make your base site for you. He will put whatever you want on there. And then part of what Real Geeks offers is the ability to create landing pages for you to do whatever you want. And you can do search pages. You can do non-search pages. You could put videos on there. You can do whatever you want. Okay. You could do blog posts. Each blog post you do is its own basic landing page. And it builds your web. So if you do over the course of 2 years, if you put out 1,000 blogs, you just built one heck of a web, man. And you could put all umpteen number of links and searches inside that blog.
That's crazy.
All right. Send that out to me.
Like, walk me through this in baby steps of how to get it done. I mean, I'm more than willing to do it. I just excited about getting it done.
Being a breakthrough agent, okay? We have a guy that I hope he still does it because I unfortunately over the last year, I'm pretty sure most agents really haven't taken advantage of him. Oh geez. It's either Todd or Scott. There we go, Todd. Okay, so it's Todd. Let me share this with you. Okay. Todd. All right, and it's oops.
Todd Bogert.
Yep, Todd Bogert. T Bogert at rgsitebuilder.com. And he made a deal with us, and I might need to re-up it, and hopefully he's still doing it. And if not, there's other channels we can use. But he's the guy that built our website. He's the guy that the foundation of it. Since then, we've tweaked it a lot, and we personally have the ability to go in there and edit it. Okay, so if you get a hold of him, rgsitebuilder.com, T Bogert, he'll take care of you. Hopefully, okay. Keep me updated on that one. Now on the flip side, in Real Geeks, it's just like Google. So you know how we have our dots on the top right in Google? Same thing. So right here in Real Geeks, go to the dots. When you click on the dots, you're going to see edit website. Under edit website, you're going to see, and I'm admin. Okay. So I have probably a lot more than you do, but right here, you got blog homepage. Okay. And then if need be, I'll give you access to do content. Okay. So what you want is content pages, coming soon pages. You don't want, don't mess with the homepage or anything like that, but you could do an agent landing page is what you're going to kind of have. You could do area pages. That would be the perfect one for like Surprise Farms. You could do market reports for all kinds of communities. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Okay. So outside of that, we have this. And the Facebook Ads Manager is where you can send out your, right here, you got a single property carousel. So in Facebook, that's the ones that go across. Like if you just look at it and there's like 4 pictures going across and like you scroll across to see them. Property collage is the 5 pictures right there on top, and you can just click on there and boom, those are really effective. Single search. Now these are the different ones where you create the the search, you create the picture, you kind of create whatever you want on it, but it'll attach a literal search that you created. So it could be surprise farms. It could be all the foreclosures. It could be these are all the golf course homes. It could be this is everything that's sold in this zip code last month. The search can be whatever you want it to be. Okay. And that's the cool thing about it. Think about the ads you can do if you just have a search that you can attach.
Okay.
Make sense?
Kind of. It's a little foggy, but I mean, after I go through it once or twice or 10 times, it'll click in.
But you get the gist between the three, right?
I do get the gist.
Like let's say you're going to be doing an open house. The single property carousel and the single property collage, that's awesome. You can do that, send that out to everybody, and it'll take them to the link. Anybody that clicks on that link, you capture their info. Okay. And it's advertising. And via Facebook, if you're part of the groups, if you maximize your friends, if you have your business page growing like it should, you could easily have well over 1,000 people that you're getting out to every single time. And then the moment you share in a couple groups, that can get up to 20, 30,000 people pretty easily. Okay. So it's really just learning a little bit about the basics of that. Okay. So those two, just sold, open house, price reduction, new listing, pending, other listings in our, you could do all kinds of stuff, whatever's in our neighborhood. The single search, if you're trying to really focus on just appealing to somebody, right? Most people want homes with a pool, right? And there aren't that many of those. So you could say, hey, everybody, here's all the homes in Surprise with a pool. Check them out. And boom, when they click on it, they'll see all the homes there that have pools. Boom. And they could, when they click on it, you'll get their info.
That's all the homes that are listed with pools, right?
Yep. You can
not just the ones that, and then these homes right now that, from my understanding, is that these homes, at least the feedback I'm getting, is that realtors are getting listings, and then as soon as they put them on the MLS, the very next day they've got offers.
Oh yeah.
Is that what's happening out there right now? That's what I'm hearing from these buyers that are coming to me to get pre-qualified.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's where the Monday meeting, especially right around the middle of the month, right after the stat newsletter comes out, that's probably the most important meeting to be on if you're going to attend a Monday huddle. And it always comes around like the 15th or 16th. So it's the following Monday after the stat newsletter comes out. And we go into detail about what the market's doing, and we compare it week to week to week. And it's right now 20% of what's available is actually coming soon. It's not even technically active. Okay. Right. Then there's about 43. Let's do it right now. Actually, the other day I think there were 4,300 active homes, truly active homes.
Yeah.
And let's see where we're at. 4,304. And they're literally right now, given the flow, we should have about 30,000. Okay.
Is that 4,300 just in what area?
That's Maricopa County total.
Okay, in the county.
Yep. Armless, Arizona regional, multiple listings. So we're basically Maricopa County for the most part, including some other outside areas actually. Okay. So the single search is perfect if you want to really just target somebody or something that you think people might want. Hey, are you a golfer? Check out all these homes on golf courses available. Hey, you live in Surprise Farm. Here's everything that's sold in your neighborhood over the last month in case you were wanting to know, things like that. Multiple searches. This is where you could actually do, here's everything active and here's everything that's sold. There you go. There's a lot of different reasons you want to do multiple searches, especially if you're really trying to, again, do like the farm. At that point in time, you're really just turning into a source of information month after month after month, and it gives you natural things to need to put out every month. And this is your monthly comp. Here's everything that's active. Here's everything that's sold. Check them out. Area content with search. Again, this is where you could really get into those. Okay. Really boiling down. Hey, here's Arrowhead Lakes. It's a wonderful lake community. You include pictures of the lakes. You include pictures of the neighborhood. And it's actually a real, that's like a real page. You're building a real website at that point, not like an actual landing page. It's really kind of cool. Single image link, exactly what it says. Multiple image with link, exactly what it says. Big one here, video. Video content it gets a lot of eyeballs. You're not going to get a lot of leads, as in people clicking on it to give you information, but you will get thousands of eyeballs if done properly. Okay. So the big thing about this is that it pairs with Facebook. The only way you can do that with Facebook is if you have the Facebook business page set up. Okay. And so if you haven't done that, what you want to do is right here, go to settings and help. And it walks you through the 4 steps to do it. Okay. This is what I was saying earlier. I did a video on this, but I think theirs is better.
Okay. I'm going to have to watch that video.
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, area page.
Josh, you've got so many good ideas. It's just.
Yeah. Okay. So the big thing to know, just so we can kind of keep flowing on here, is internet leads. You need to get a steady flow of them because a lot of them are going to be bad. You're going to keep the good ones and then keep the flow. So like this month, you're going to bring in 100 and you're going to keep 15. Of those 100, only 3 or 4 are actually going to turn into sales or more. Let's say if you're great, 10. But average, let's say your average is 3. Okay. I hate the average. It should be closer to 5 or 6, but let's use the worst case 3. Okay. So 100 will come in, 50 of them, bad information, not even worthwhile. Of the other 50, you're going to have to weed through them, figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And then when all said and done, you're going to be left with like 3 to 10. And there you go. Okay. Next month, same thing, 3 to 10. Next month, same thing, 3 to 10. Next month, same thing, 3 to 10. You're going to go through 600 leads and end up with 30 that are really good. But that's part of the process. But you're ending up with 30 leads. You know what I mean? Like viable, real people. It sucks that you had to go through 97 that didn't. If you really boil it down, you don't get mad at every single home you walk by while you're doing door knocking that didn't do it. You're doing the same thing. 95% of those aren't going to buy or sell this year either. It's right. The same thing. Stop taking it personally. Don't think they hate you just because you're calling them. Okay. That's not valid. That's in your brain. Offer service, have a plan, and you'll be wonderful. Okay. So 100 per month. At the end of the year, you're going to have 1,200. Okay. 1,200 leads. My second pen just went out. 1,200 leads. Let's go with worst case scenario again. Okay. Oops. Let me get rid of that. Okay. 1,200 leads. What did we say? 3%. 36 sales. Okay. 36 sales times 300,000 is again 10,800,000. 10,800,000 times 2.5% commission is $270,000. $270,000 times 80% is $216,000. Okay. Now, $216,000. The reason I did that so fast because that's not the end of this one. This is a follow-up game. Okay. And it's really hard to stay motivated to do the follow-up needed because you are having to call people 6 times that first week just to make contact. That gives you an 80 to 90% chance of making contact, which is what? The first half of the battle. They go with the first agent they talk to. So you want to be that first agent. You hammer them 6 times that first week. Once you make contact, then it takes another 6 or so sales to make that sale. Okay. So if you really want to break it down, you're going to need to call everybody at least 12 times. And that's what you're going to.
A lot of phone calls.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. And that's why people don't do it. All right. So you got 1,200 leads times 12 phone calls. That is 14,400 phone calls over the course of the year. Let's say you're going to work 49 weeks a year. That means you're going to make 294 calls a week. And let's say you're going to divide that by 5 days a week. You're realistically only calling 60 people a day. 60 people a day is realistically 3 hours of phone calls a day. You could average about 20 phone calls an hour on average.
Well, would recommend doing that or going through like what? Because I looked at Espresso and RedX. those, I know we talked about those.
We'll get to those next.
All right.
We'll get to those. That's your niche. That's the next step. You find something that you want to do, and then that's the fourth leg. Exactly. Okay. So your first leg is your sphere of influence. Your second leg is open houses and farming. Okay. Week in and week out, you can rely on those two, no matter the market, no matter whatever, you're going to rely on those two. Okay. They are your bread and butter, no matter what. Okay. Next is internet leads. As long as over 90% of people start their freaking search online, you need to be there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're going to sell to people you don't know, which you have to, you need to be on the internet. Okay. You need to be as Googleable as possible, right? It's a set it and forget it. Once you're done, once you get it, you can do it, right? And once you find your niches and things like that, you really kind of fine tune your angles and approaches to kill a bunch of birds with one stone. But you have to do it enough to get to that point, which is why almost all of these are 6 months. Okay, 6 months. You have to be willing to, you have to have faith. You have to have faith it's going to work. After 3 months, I mean, that's a lot. 3 months is what? 40, 30. Okay, that's 90 plus days of waking up every day, hoping today's going to be the day.
Okay.
Okay. And at that point in time, you're only halfway there. And so you're like, oh crap, I need to do this another 90 days. Seriously? And be like, yeah, man, you do. But you got to have faith. It's going to work. Okay. So I can't tell you which one's going to work best for you. Okay. But if you really think about it, when you're doing an open house, like we talked about, you're only going to average 7 or so people signing in. That does equate to downtime. Can you spend an hour or two of your 4 hours making phone calls?
Yes.
There you go.
And I have no problem doing open houses. In fact, I like doing open houses. Those are kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
But I haven't done, thing I haven't tried is what you were talking about as far as setting up this internet for the internet leads.
Yep.
Doing that, that's something I haven't tried. And then the other thing I was going to go after that I was excited about, and I was going to do that way back when I was with West USA, was with Red X and going after
Yep.
foreclosures and
FSBOs.
for sale by owners. And
Yeah, FSBOs, and that's a great market. So we'll talk about that. Just let's wrap this up. Give me 2 more minutes to wrap this up, and then we'll rock those. Okay. So here's why I wanted to really go through and get to the money fast, because 3 hours of phone call sucks. Okay. But if, let's say you're going to do 206, no, let's do it the other way around. 3 times 5 is 15 hours a day times 49 hours. Okay. So that's 735. So $216,000 divided by 735 hours. Is it worth $294 an hour to make?
Absolutely. Yes.
200.
I'm set up to do that right now. I'm set up to make phone calls.
Okay. But you have to have faith that it's going to pay off in the long run. So you really have to understand that, okay, this is that. And if you really want to break that down, divide that by 20, and you're actually getting paid $14 per phone call almost.
That's a funny way to put it, but.
Okay. So if you're willing to put in that, and that's the thing, I mean, if you could disattach and do like what I call the Cinderella story when it comes to phone calls, you can make a killing. I mean, for the people that are able to do 4 or 5 hours of phone calls a day, if you use a dialer, if you're working out your autoresponders and your follow-up text messages and putting in drip campaigns and utilizing text messages to help you follow up with the internet leads, it all stacks in your favor. Okay. So you're not just relying on cold calling. You have a strategy, like for your first one, you send an intro email. Your second one, you automatically set them up with a search in your portal in the MLS. Then you send them what would be like area information. You send them stuff about Phoenix if they're not local. You might send them HOA information if they're looking in a particular area. You might send them school information if they're going to be relocating. Buyer's advisory, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of things you can do. Send them a sample contract so that way, and point out the things that they need to know. Make sure you put them in contact with their lender. Send them interesting things, make sure they get your newsletter. If you're having an open house, befriend them on Facebook. There's so many things we can do to help us in that part. You just can't be scared. If you really want to help people, it's easy. Okay. So $293, $294 an hour to make phone calls certainly is enticing. I would hope.
Yes.
Okay. So there's that. Now, last but not least, okay. So you got your third leg, $293 an hour. Whoop. Okay. So first leg, just to reiterate, we got our friends and family.
Gotcha.
Second leg, we've got our open houses and farming. Third leg, we've got internet leads, which, let me back that up, is a crap ton of phone calls. I should have written down, what was it, 14,000, something like that, phone calls throughout the year. But when you break it down per day, per week, it's not too bad. And especially when you break it down to $293 an hour, it's worthwhile. So our final leg is your best one and your most favorite one probably. And this is your niche. Find what you love, find what you like, find what works for you, and roll with it. It may be one of these three and you can double down on it. Mm-hmm. But the fun part about real estate is that there's no one way to do real estate. And that's the best thing in the world. You could do part-time lending, part-time realtor. That's you.
Yeah.
You could create a whole brand and idea behind that. I could help you with either or, but not both. Which one do you want?
That's me. What do you need? What can I help you with?
Yeah.
I'm here.
If you want me to help you with a lender, I can help refer you to a great realtor. If you need a great realtor, I could refer you to a great lender. There you go. It's like, I got you covered, and it's a really cool offering and you could build a whole brand around it. Right. And so that means you don't necessarily fall into any of these categories, but you could utilize all the categories to benefit both sides for you. At every open house, the neighbors are an option for you because you can help them refi. They're more likely to refi than they are to freaking buy a home in the next year. I can tell you that much.
Well, I don't know about refi in the next year, unless the rates go the other direction, but.
Yeah. Well, let me rephrase that. You haven't lost anybody in a real estate capacity who might refi, whereas in a realtor, we do. Okay. You still have an option because you can help them with both sides. If they choose to refi, we're screwed. It's that much harder to sell their home and make them money. Yeah. So, so it's a cool niche, right? What other niches are out there? Foreclosures, FSBOs, you named it. Those are definitely huge. Okay. I mean, they're smaller than ever right now, except for FSBOs, but it's more competitive than ever because you need to show your value to them, but it's a wonderful niche.
Well, see, that's why I kind of wanted to start out with the FSBO market. I think that's going to be hot right now. I could be way out in left field. I don't know. But anyway, start out with that FSBO market, and then when these homes that, what do they call it? Where they were it's on the tip of my tongue. Forbearance.
Yeah.
All these homes were in forbearance, and so that's going to end here probably in 3, 4, 5 months. And I don't know what these guys are going to do.
Well, there's not from what I'm hearing, the majority of people are already off of it. And the majority of people have already paid back whatever it was that they were, or, it's like, from what I hear, it's not going to be many. And compared to where we were, I don't know. I haven't heard anybody that I truly believe in that's not just a rabble rouser that's saying that it's going to be huge. It's definitely going to be a number. Don't get me wrong. And it's going to go up compared to average. But I don't think it's going to be a flood.
I don't think it is either. I think a lot of the lenders just allow these homeowners to just keep adding those monthly payments to the amount that they owe them.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So you got FSBOs, you've got expireds, you've got foreclosures, you have what could be short sales. And then you have all these sub niches, right? Like I knew I was going to do property management, put
Right.
property management as my niche, right? And from the very beginning, I knew why I wanted to do it, what I was going to get out of it, and my goals. It was going to take care of my family. That was the whole goal. And miraculously, within the first year, I found some investors, and
Yeah.
it can't be coincidence that I knew I wanted to work with investors and I knew I wanted to do property management. And miraculously, I was now seeing investors. You need
Okay.
to know what you're looking for.
Uh,
Okay. So whether it's, I mean, I forget the ladies' names, and this was 10 years ago now, but there were two ladies that I worked with at Prudential who sold churches. That was their niche. And they made a killing because churches aren't cheap.
got it.
Yep. You have horse properties, you have land, you have multi-unit properties, you have industrial properties, commercial properties, you have rental commercial properties, you have rental regular properties, you have vacation real estate, you have vacation rentals. You have pool homes, you have $1 million homes, you have ghetto homes, you have antique homes, historic homes, you have homes in this neighborhood, homes in that neighborhood, you have I only do homes that back to golf courses on that are I only do membership, I only do gated communities. I only do towers. I mean, I do BPOs. Let's see here. Um, I only work with people affiliated with this, whatever subgroup you want. I've tapped I don't know. I'm the go-to guy for RC enthusiasts because I know the best yards to build in the back. You know what I mean? There are a billion niches out there. You could build a network from your church. You could build a network from your work hobby. You could be the guy for Intel. You can work with reload people. You could be the guy for I mean, how many big companies are out here? UOP, GCU, Intel, ASU, City of Phoenix. Um, keep going. You know what I mean? Put it out there. Be the guy that does B2B. I work with real estate test testate people die. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's at the judge. Testate?
Intestate?
It is testate, right?
Testate.
Yeah.
Testate.
For some reason that's not sounding right, but you know what I mean. When somebody dies, it goes to the court. They usually need to sell that property to appease the kids.
Oh, probate.
Probate. Thank you. What's the other word that I'm thinking of that I was thinking of just now?
Well, when you die intestate, then anyway, I know what you mean.
In
I
state.
can't think of it either.
Yeah. I know that's a word I just said, but I don't know what that one means. Forgive me. Okay, but yes, probate. Probate is a wonderful niche, unfortunately, but people die. You're not, they need help. And usually kids are fighting over real estate because it's going
I
to be
know it. Intestate means that you died without a will.
There you go. That's the other part. There you go. Thank you. I knew it had something to do with what we were talking about. And so you have that. You have divorces. They have to sell. It's court appointed. There's a lot of other things. So if you get in with lawyers, there's a crap ton. You know what I mean? Hospitals need nurses. Nurses travel. That's a wonderful little niche. Am I making the point across?
Yeah, but there are a gazillion niches.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So that's the beauty of real estate. Find a passion and over time roll with it. It may not start as one of your biggest parts. Each of the legs don't have to be equal weight, but as long as you have all four there and they're functioning, they're able to pull their own. You know what I mean? You never want to go without it because that's when you become unstable. If you only sell 2 homes in an open house and you're not in, as long as you're staying minimally active in your farm, as in do your monthly mailers and do an open house or 2 a month minimally, you're not going to be forgotten. It's not going to be maximized by any stretch of the imagination, but you're not going to be forgotten. Okay. You never want to go 4 months without them seeing you ever, but you need them to see you a couple times a month. You know what I mean? When it comes to your internet, you don't have to put $5,000 a month behind Google, but you need a website that's there working for you. You need to be posting on a regular basis when you are doing your open houses, when you do make a sale, when you are pending. The beautiful thing about one sale, okay, let's say this. All right. You're working with your buyer. Okay. Now, here's the beauty about building a crowd behind you. Okay. So people are scared that and I'll admit it, I suffer the same thing. So let's say you get a buyer, you submitted your offer, you throw out, you don't put any names out there. You just say, hey, submitted an offer out for one of my clients. Fingers crossed, everybody, wish them well. And people are like, best of luck, blah, 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 blah. People are like, wish you well. And it's amazing the flow of support that come out for you, right? And then you can tag your client in that. And then they'll see like, oh, check it out. People are hoping for us. Yeah, like whatever. Right. And then since you drop that seed to begin with, now you say, we're pending. The offer got accepted. Boom. People see that you're successful. Your clients are happy. You built a crowd around it. People will be like, were these for those same clients? And they're like, yeah, it was for the same clients. Wonderful. Blah, blah, blah. Right. And so you're pending. And then you could say, hey, inspections tomorrow, wish us well, should go well, whatever. And you just keep people updated. Right. We got another inspection today going on for other clients, boom, 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 and you keep people just kind of into it, right? Pending, just sold. A lot of people don't think to utilize both, but you should. We got our offer accepted. Congratulations, everybody. Wish them well. You know what I mean? It took them 4 offers to get this far. You're not saying it's done. You're saying, wish them well, man. You got it accepted. Next step down, and then we're closing. Woohoo. And of course, you take the picture of your client walking in, or the video, and you got to remember to get these details. And the flow of, we just submitted our offer, wish them well. We got our offer accepted. We're pending. You know what I mean? We're offer accepted. We're now pending. We're going through our inspections, wish them well. Hey, we're closing tomorrow, whatever. And then you're closing. I mean, you could potentially get 5 different things from one deal. And while you're tagging that person, you're actually getting in front of their audience. So it's not hard to come up with content if you just keep it simple. Keep it simple, right?
I like it.
All right, so that's my spiel on the tabletop.
Okay.
Any questions, thoughts?
No. Are you going to be doing an open house? I mean, I'm already booked this weekend, but are you doing an open house next weekend?
I'm not scheduled for one yet. As of right now, I'm just struggling to hold on. I'm struggling to get it finished. So I just got an email. So let me see if we're got another delay. Hold on. Oy, oy, oy. Ay, ay, ay.
No, I would just like to kind of just, not
Dang it. Yeah, next weekend, it looks like when it's going to go live. Son of a pooper.
Oh, okay.
That sucks. So yeah, next Saturday, Sunday might be when it goes live. So it looks like it will be available. And I mean, here's where
I just wanted to pop in and see how you guys did an open house or how you do an open house, because I know the ones that I did are, I don't know.
If you want to help me, I would love it. Nobody does open houses with me. I'm always by myself. So if you want to come with me and help me do signs and do it with me, we'll split it. That's fine. I mean, not the sale, but I mean, if the sale comes from the open house, obviously we'll split it. Yeah. But I'll split the leads with you and everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I would love it.
Well, I can just set up and be, I'll just do you keep the leads. I'll just be there as like the loan officer. How's that?
However you want to do it. No, if you're willing to come with me, I'm saying I'd be willing to do it. You're not just watching me, like, just for the sake of, like, I'd be willing to split it with you because it's fun. And I would love to have somebody with me. So make sure you get stuff out of it too, because I love it.
Company while you do it, because the open houses that I did, it was a lot of sitting around, downtime, if you will. But I'll bring my laptop and maybe I'll stop at the store and make a sign, or I don't know. I got some ideas. Okay.
Seriously, from the statistics that are out there at this point, hold on, let me just see if it's, I don't, when you read articles and then you can't remember where you saw it.
Yeah, that happens to me daily.
Okay. Shoot. Yeah, I'm not seeing the article because this was about a couple.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's all right.
Hold on, one more. I'm gonna do one more quick search here. Uh, Crap. Yeah, it might have been a Facebook thing I was looking at. From the if you're not part of it, join the Realtor forum on Facebook. It's, Sally Ireland is one of the main moderators, but Russell Shaw is one of the founders, and he's hilarious if you haven't watched him. And you'll see all kinds of stuff there, and people will post all the time. And at that, you'll see there's, I mean, huge turnouts. Okay. I can't guarantee a big turnout for us, but all things considered, I'm expecting no less than 20 people will sign in and be there. And it could be upwards of over 100.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Keep us busy.
Yeah. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it should be, I would hope. And this is a wonderful house too, because it's right off 60, about a mile and a half off 60, and it's right on Mill.
Great.
So we're going to have, decent flow, and it's easy to get to, and it's on a cul-de-sac. So it's going to be pretty fun. Yeah.
All right. I'm jived.
Rocking, man. All right. Well, thank you for coming tonight, and you have a good evening, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. I'm just going to go to Wendy's and get the 4 for $4 on my way home for dinner. Right. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Bye.